All right, friends, welcome back to the Sunny Side View. And today we have a very special episode. We are flipping the script. You know, your host, Sunny Brown. Today I get to step into the guest chair. So I had to have my good friend because you can't trust everybody. So I had to have my good friend to really lead an intimate and inspiring author interview so you guys can get to know me. So, fellow creative and journalist herself, amazing conference host. She'll tell us a little bit about that as well. But Miss Laurie Graham is on the mic, and I am so excited. Laurie, thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited. It is so fun to turn the tables on you, Sunny. You know, I would not miss a chance to put you in the spotlight again.
Uh,
It has been such a joy having you speak at our conferences for small church ministry. You have been one of the favorite speakers ever of all time. And I had you on my podcast at least once, if not
oh,
twice, right?
yes. Yes.
Okay, awesome. But
Absolutely.
today, as you said, we get to flip the script, and I just love this so much. Sunny Brown in the hot seat. So
I
I got
know.
the mic. I got the mic. You got the new book, and we're going to show the world that kids aren't just cute, but that
Yes.
they're straight up brilliant. So
Yeah.
let's go.
Okay.
Okay, Sunny, give us the rundown. What is I Am a Genius? What's it all about, and who's it really for?
Yes. So I Am a Genius is more than a book. It's my mantra. I a few years ago I left full-time ministry and I became a teacher. And in the time that I became a teacher, I recognized that a lot of my students, when they would come, they were very heavy on I can't, like what they could not do.
Yeah,
Just this is too hard, or I'm just not to that level. And so I just remember in this fifth grade class in 2023, I remember saying to them, actually, you can do hard things.
yeah,
And I was a little snappy with it because I was so tired of them just talking all this negativity.
yeah,
The scripture says death and life are in the power of the tongue. And I was trying to figure out, how do I get this across in a public school setting,
yeah,
so that they understand what the word is really saying. And so I just started reminding them, like, no, no, actually you're a genius. And matter
yeah,
of fact, say that with me. I am a genius. And so
yeah,
everybody would repeat it. And so I wrote like this affirmation that we would say every day.
yeah,
And I mean, it was amazing to watch them go from believing that they couldn't do things to doing that they could. And
yeah,
it's not like a fairy tale. My whole ideology is that everyone is a genius at something.
yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
as an educator, it's my job to figure out what that genius is and to stoke that genius. Lori, your genius in fifth grade could be you're a genius at reading. My
Yeah,
genius in fifth grade could be I'm really good at tying my shoes. I don't know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
whatever I'm the genius in, I use that to push them and elevate the other areas into proficiency.
yeah,
So in academia, I would say, okay, you're a genius in math. Your reading is where we're gonna push to get, to proficiency.
yeah,
But I talk a lot more about what you are good at than
yeah,
what you need to work on. And because I do that, they raise the bar in those other
yeah,
areas. So
yeah.
that's how we got it. That's how we got the whole thing.
This is the whole thing about focusing on our strengths, which
Yeah.
honestly is just so good in life in general. Like you said, you're an educator and your job, what you really look at elevating that and finding their genius. I think every single one of us, educator, parent, friend, neighbor, person in the grocery store, I honestly think the world would be a lot better if we all did that. Now,
Yeah.
your book, you said your book is less of a book and more of a mantra. And I
Hmm.
just have to say, I love this because I have a lot of books on my shelf, and what do they say? Like 75% of books aren't read all the way through. Like you get so far and you
Oh,
stop because there's so
mhm.
many words, right? We
So
don't
many
need all
words.
those words. If
Yeah.
we have a mantra, something that we believe that's going to soak into our soul, so beautiful. Your book has such a strong and confident tone.
Yeah.
I want to know why you decided to actually write this book because you're saying it to your students. I know you say it to your kids. Um,
Yeah.
why did you want to actually put it in print?
So the at the end of the year, that fifth grade year, so the 2023-2024 school year, so May of 2024, you do all of your end of the year things.
Yeah.
And we were having our end of the year moving up ceremony. And the last thing was the students getting up and saying, I am going to say that I am a genius.
Yeah.
And one of my students led it, and he had it memorized, and all of the students just started saying it with him like one last
Wow.
time. And I was just so
Wow.
moved. And one of the moms came afterwards and she said,
I've been crying. I literally would have tears streaming down my face.
so there is a video, and I may or may not have been crying and had to go behind the wall so bad. And so one of the moms said to me, she said, I hope one day that every student all
Mm,
over the world gets to know this affirmation and that they get to have it in their hand. You really
yeah.
need to write this down in a book.
Mm,
And that was it. And so it took me a while. My dad was really sick and he ended up passing just at the end of April. And I just remember being just not furious, but just so disappointed that
mm,
I was more focused on how sick he was that I didn't
mm.
push out, what I said that I was gonna do. Um,
Wow.
and so my dad passed at the end of April and the April 30th, and then one of my mentors named Michael Cheshire, he also passed away. And these were two people who
Mm,
just pushed me to be an author, and it was just like, you know what? I have to get this out
yeah.
right now before
Yeah.
school so people can grab it for their book bags.
Wow. That's so good. And there's a lot of kids walking around today. And I would say forever since the beginning of time. Like, I mean, I even
Yeah,
look back to, generations ago, it was the same. Kids walking around unsure of their value. And I also don't think it's just kids. Like
yeah,
adults and teenagers, young adults, older people really on their deathbed still not sure of their value. Like
yeah,
what do you think this little book, because it's a small book. It's not a chapter
yeah,
book. It's not
yeah,
50,000 words. What do you think could really be planted in people who get their hands on this book?
yeah. I think it just reminds you that you are excellent in some way. I think too often we go to our jobs, we
Hmm.
go to families that don't always recognize or acknowledge the areas which we naturally win. One of the
Hmm.
things I learned, I'm taking some education classes, and one of my teachers started talking about, one of my professors started talking about how anytime you look at a report card or anytime you look at an evaluation, our eyes are naturally drawn to the lowest grade or the lowest score, whatever area where we did not
Yes.
win. We
Hmm.
automatically go to what was bad, what was
Yeah.
taken away. And he talked about like the psychological push of that, about how we are literally trained to look at the negative. And then
Hmm.
we spend so much time on the negative that the areas where we naturally were amazing, we
Yeah.
don't talk about. And
Hmm.
so I started doing that with my own kids. I started looking at where they naturally were good. And I found out my kids were naturally great at social studies. We had some work to do in math. That's okay. you know, but
Yeah.
because I would just clap and be so excited for them with their social studies or with their reading or math or whatever it was, when we would work on these other areas, I'm like, you are so good at this. And I would
Yeah.
spend 30 minutes talking about that and then 10 minutes talking about what to work on. But
Yeah.
because we did it by the end of the year, my kids were really getting consistently good grades in the
Yeah.
area or consistently showing up, even just consistently being present in all the classes because they were like, oh, I can do this. I can
Yeah.
do these hard
Yeah.
things. And I think the same thing as adults. Like as adults, when we look at if we value where we naturally shine, we
Yeah.
should be staffing to our deficit. Like any team I create, I'm terrible at like the nuts and bolts. I have to have the top tier administrator because it's so bad. But because I know that, I love people who are detail oriented and
Yeah.
they make our whole
Exactly.
team better. Yeah. So
Yeah.
because of that, I really spend time with adults. I really try to spend time seeing where they're great, seeing where we are shining, and making sure everybody knows that area. Like, oh my goodness, this is so good.
Yeah, and Sunny, I just want to say, I think I met you about 4 years ago, and we've had just
It's
some
definitely,
fun on some different projects and stuff. But your enthusiasm, and it's not just positivity, it's like this I don't know, it's like this oozing of hope that you like throw onto other people. It's really contagious. And I just want to say that like you're talking about how your kids like their academics change, their outlooks change and things. But I also believe, I cannot believe for 1 minute that those kids aren't changed because of
Yes.
you, not just in that, but in how they interrelate with other people. Like that has
Yes.
to spill off. Like you're pouring into them, they're going to start pouring into brothers and sisters and siblings and neighbors and maybe even their parents. And as they
Yes.
grow into the business world and into a professional world and into an academic world, wherever they're going, I think that. I think it's character. Like you're
Mhm.
building this character into them to also see the goodness of other people. So you're
Oh,
like
I love
changing
that.
future parents. You're changing future parents. Isn't that so cool?
That's the best.
That's awesome. Okay, can we talk about your illustrations in your book?
Okay. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
because they
Yes.
are fun, energetic, splashy. Like I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with those pictures after we're done
Yes.
talking about this. But can you talk about your collaboration a little bit with the illustrator? And her name is
Yes.
Emily. What's her last name?
Hercock. Yeah.
Emily
Hercock.
Hercock. Yeah. Tell me
Mhm.
about what's a collaboration like? I've never done a children's book. But I feel like what she captured is so you.
Yes. So, fun fact, these lovely people are actually my kids. People don't realize these are actually my kids. So, it's my oldest daughter, my
The
oldest son,
the ones in the
all seven
book?
of them. Yes, they are actually the characters of the book. This is hot off the press. People don't really, they haven't really seen.
I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yes, so they are every page shows something that I specifically asked them what they wanted to be in the book, which is why you see
Oh,
like on the last couple of pages, my son, the youngest son, he's 7 at the time. Right now he's 7, and he wanted dinosaurs and drones. So that is
yes,
why
I saw that.
yeah, so I sent Emily pictures and I was like, "Hey, I want my kids to be in this.
Oh my gosh.
I've got 7 kids, so there's enough space for them." And she captured them, we went back
Wow.
and forth, we kinda edited, and I just loved it. I love that she captured all of their different personalities, their different
Wow.
ethnicities, like, it was just beautiful. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's where she got it from, and she nailed it. She nailed
Oh,
it.
so good. Like I was like, I don't know where you found her, but like this is so good and so perfect. And I'm just gonna tell everybody who's listening, if you haven't bought the book yet, you need to buy
Yeah.
2 books. And
Yeah.
this is why you need to buy 2 books because you're going to deface the other book. You're going to cut it up in pieces and you are
Yeah.
going to hang those posters on the wall. Like they're frameable. That's
Yeah.
frameable artwork. Like I
Yeah.
literally, if I was in a classroom or if my kids were still little, or even if I had a church office, like honestly, I would cut that. I would have one on my shelf and I would cut the
Yeah.
book up into pieces so I could put I'm a genius with the different illustrations. Like because
Yeah.
they're focusing on different levels of different areas of genius. Like that
Yeah.
was so fun. Like the one with the dragon, I was like so much imagination. And then
Yeah.
there's one about sports, and there's one like it just. Ugh, I just love it. So if you're listening, by the way, just go ahead and buy two
Yeah.
books because you're gonna want to cut one up and put those pictures up around somewhere. Like throw those pictures like on the Starbucks bulletin board, whatever, when they have those. So okay. So you got this book published. How do you feel like knowing that people
Oh
are
my
gonna like
goodness.
I'm gonna hang it on my wall and I'm gonna have it on my shelf and I'm gonna give it to, whoever. Like how does that make you feel? What
You know,
emotions are
it
bubbling up?
it's kind of like what you said. Like, I love pushing people. Like, I love them feeling warm and excited. And I feel like when they read the book that they get that. So for me, it makes me feel just it's not pride, I'm just overjoyed. Like, I'm
Yeah,
like, oh
yeah,
my goodness, I can't believe this little speech that I wrote
yeah,
for some 10-year
yeah,
olds that people are looking at it and they're like, "Oh my goodness, this is so good." So,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
interesting. It's an interesting
So
time.
fun. Well, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Sunny. Okay. So
Okay.
you are usually the ones leading conversations, teaching, hosting, speaking. I've heard your podcast for a long time, all the interviews that you do. Um, did it feel like a shift at all, like to write a book for kids, or was that just an extension of your teaching and leading? Like, was that a shift for you? And if it was, how?
I would have never thought that I would write a children's book. I love kids. I was a youth pastor for a very long time. If I walk into your church today, I would like bring my background check and be like, I can I can volunteer right
Yeah.
now.
Step in right now.
Um, you can step in right now. I've got it with me. I'm a teacher, like, I think I knew that I was going to write a book, and I know that there are more books that are in me. I but this needed to be the first one. I think that as a lifelong supporter of youth ministry, and from doing youth ministry in small church spaces and large
Mhm.
church spaces, I think sometimes that we forget. We think about the dollar. We think about we don't have enough and what we don't have. But there's so many genius folks doing real work in churches,
Yeah.
that are bringing up the next generation so that they can be better than we are. So this definitely needed to be the first book, but
Mhm.
I didn't realize it would be the first book.
You got more, huh?
Oh yeah, I've got
Yeah.
tons.
Okay, looking forward to it. Okay, so your message, not just this book for sure, but also typically when I've heard you speak, and definitely when you've been at our conferences for small church ministry, they're always very confidence forward. Like it's a very confidence forward message. And I'm just curious, is this something you grew up with or something you had to grow into and now you
Yeah.
pass it out to other people?
So my dad was a martial artist. He when he at the time he passed, he's a seventh degree black belt. I
Wow.
probably my earliest photo that I can remember. I have like a photo when I was like 2 years old. I have a martial arts uniform on and a white belt, and like big glasses. And so my dad always had us like very martial arts driven, a lot of, just confidence building with our bodies, with our minds, discipline. That was really like a thing that we grew up with. So I was just talking to someone about this. They were talking about like when you go away to college, because my oldest son is getting ready to go away. And we talked about how I just wasn't ever like scared. I just was, I
Wow.
had like this innate confidence that my dad had really
Wow.
sharpened for a long time. And so I I don't know. I don't did I grow up with this? I mean, I think so. I think I just was able to be the weird kid that I wanted to be. I was able to be the reader that I wanted to be, and no one can make me feel
Yeah.
any kind of way about it. My big glasses, nobody can make me feel any kind of way about it. Just because my dad had really sharpened it, and so I try to do the same. For our babies, I try to
Yeah.
make sure that they have it. I remember when I interviewed with my church here, the church here in Atlanta. And I remember the executive pastor was asking me these questions. And she said, do you know how to do this platform that they use for communication? And I said, no, but I can do anything. And she was like, what
Yeah.
do you mean? I said, no, I can learn to do anything. Now, will it be, does that mean that, it's going to be to the level of somebody who naturally does it? No, but this is a skill. I can go on YouTube and I can learn how to do it.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
no question about it. And I ended up becoming like the expert at the church in this thing that had no
Yeah.
idea about. So yeah, I think that's part of it. The scripture
Yeah.
tells us that iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
grew up in a household that was like sharpen, sharpen, sharpen,
Yeah.
and then push you out there to really see how it works. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
the answer is yes.
I love it. So let's keep doing sharpening, right? It's so good. So did anything surprise you, or maybe I should say, what surprised you most about writing a children's book? I think when we do new things, there's always little surprises, maybe big, but was it the process, the emotions, just getting it done?
Let me think. I feel like what would have been the best? I feel like, hmm, no, I don't feel like I was surprised.
Okay.
I had an advocate though. My one of my colleagues at the school, she was right across the hallway from me, and she's how I found the illustrator because
Wow.
Emily illustrated two or three of her books as well.
Wow.
And so and she really walked me through. Like, remember, I'm not detail oriented, so
Yeah.
she really walked me through what I needed, how to do it, and even when you receive all the files, how you upload them as a self publisher. I mean, I think I didn't realize, number one, how much it was, like the intricate pieces of being a
Yes.
self-published author and like
Mm-hmm.
pushing it all the way out. I think there are tons of people with stories that we've just not heard yet.
100%.
And Yeah, and just the way that she did it, it was such a God ordained thing, that she just, I mean, she would hop on Zoom with me at 11 o'clock at night, and she was helping me with KDP, which is like how you put it on Amazon, and and Ingram Spark, which is how it goes to Barnes and Noble and other places. So I think I was most surprised by that, like that somebody
Okay.
would really take time. I mean, it's summer, we're teachers, we don't like talking to
Yeah.
each other. So yeah, I think that's what surprised me, for
Oh.
sure.
Wow. I love that you had somebody walking in the process. I think that's one of the things like in life that I almost would say is one of the hardest things is when we feel like we're alone and we don't have
Yeah.
that person. And so she got to step in with you and you step in with so many people. And I just love it. So do you
Yeah.
picture kids reading this book by themselves? Do you picture them with parents and grandparents and teachers? Like, what do you picture?
So I think
I
I
mean, I
picture all
picture
of
I
that.
picture hanging it all over the walls. So that's me.
Well, I picture families reading it to their kids before the first day of kindergarten. When my kids were in kindergarten, when I would drop them off to school, before they would get out the car, they would have to recite, I am a genius. I am brilliant and bold. What I don't know, I will know because I will search to find it. Like they will say the hook every time before they get out the
Mhm.
car. So that, we had a tough time in kindergarten for my youngest kids, and they realized that it wasn't them. It
Mhm.
was a issue, with the particular teachers that they had at the time, and they knew that because they were like, wait, you can't put me in a corner. Like, they were like, wait a minute, I can do this stuff. Like, you have to give me a
Mhm.
chance. And they knew that because every day my mom reminds me that I am a genius. We say it. I say it every
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
imagine it. I imagine kids saying it before they get out the car to go into school. So they already have in the mindset, no matter what
yeah.
this teacher does, because we've got teachers that aren't great. And so no matter if this teacher
Mhm.
tells me that I'm dumb, that I can't do something, I know in my mind that I am a genius.
Mhm.
So I imagine that. Also, the other day, I haven't posted it yet, but I had my kids, read the line where their photo is. So
Uh-huh.
I have an audio, like, it's almost like a
Oh,
live reading.
yeah,
And I cried so much over this
yeah,
20-second video where you don't even see them. You just see the pages flipping, but you hear these different voices from my oldest, who is a 20-year-old going into her senior year of college. She was brilliant. She graduated high school at 16, getting ready to graduate. She's talking about
yeah,
grad school now, all the way to my youngest, who is a 7-year-old twin with the IEP, and to hear him be like, when I look in the mirror, all I see is a genius. Like, it was just so powerful to me.
yeah.
That's what I imagine. I imagine like
Mhm.
every aspect over their life, kids just being like,
Yeah,
I can do this.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. So some people haven't seen the book or read it, of course, because it was just released. Like, I mean,
Yes.
just like this week. And so if you haven't read the book yet, you're not alone. Like most people haven't, but it's memorizable. Like when you said it's a
Yeah.
mantra, like the book, like when Sunny was just saying that, they're getting out of the car saying, I am a genius, I am bold, that's the book,
Mhm.
like the book.
Yeah.
So to me, like you read it enough, it becomes part of who you are and you're
Yeah.
memorizing it. And when you said, I picture families reading this the first day of kindergarten, I'm going to cry right now. Sorry. But
Yeah.
can you imagine like that becomes the tradition of the first day
Yeah.
of school, their whole lives,
Yeah.
the first day of school,
Yeah.
first day of first grade, first day of second, as a family, kids going to college, the first day of a new class. Do you know
Yeah.
what that would build into their bodies?
Yeah.
Like body, mind, spirit, like to say that not just the first day of kindergarten, but the first day
Yeah.
of a new job, the
Yeah.
first day of a promotion, the first day of this podcast, like whatever, like to have that in our minds. Like, so sorry, I just got a little emotional there. For those of you who don't
Yeah.
know me, this is pretty normal for me. So, okay. So, Sunny, before we wrap up, let me switch gears. Like, let's have a little bit of fun. Okay. Can we have a little bit of fun?
Okay.
You
I'm
gave me
ready.
the mic. So, I've got some rapid fire fun stuff. So,
Okay.
this is no overthinking. This is first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. Ready? I made them,
Okay.
well, kind of childhood oriented, but some are creative. So, we'll just have some fun. Your favorite childhood snack.
Okay, my dad was a chef and my grandmother really loved to cook. So I like collard greens. Like I would like right now when
The
I
time?
next time I'm here, I'm going to get collard greens even now. Like that's a snack to me. And it's so good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, okay, let's keep going. Your go-to creative fuel. I don't know if you drink coffee or not. Coffee is one of mine, but what is your go-to creative fuel?
So I had to recently change it. But I was a Pepsi addict. Like a can of
Oh,
Pepsi was like
that was your thing.
an addiction. So
Okay.
I'm working on it. I don't have one right now, but Pepsi is like everybody, my students know at the end of the year, they always bring me a bunch of cans of Pepsi. Like they know.
Okay, interesting. Okay, next one. If this book, this might be a little tricky, but if this
Okay.
book had a theme song, what would the vibe be?
Well, there's a song. Oh my goodness, who wrote this song? It's I know I can't be what I wanna be what I wanna be. I feel like it was Nas. I feel like it's a Nas song. I think that's who it is. If it's not Nas, I'm gonna be so embarrassed. But I remember like the video and it's just
Yeah.
kids and it's like this guy that's just from their neighborhood telling like, no, I know you can't be whatever you want to be. I feel like that's the theme.
Oh, I love it. Okay. How about one child or student in your life who inspires how you see the world? And I know you probably have many, and we can't pick favorites because you're a teacher and you have seven
Yeah.
kids, but so maybe,
Yeah. Now I might start crying.
that's okay. We're allowed. We
Um,
like emotions here.
yeah, so my first year, I came from being full-time. I was a full-time pastor, and went into the classroom. So I resigned and went into the classroom, became a teacher.
Uh-huh.
And there was a little girl, named Avery. Her and her mom are very close to me, and she was just this dragon slayer. I mean, just such a personality. And, at the time, she's growing up, she's going into fifth grade. So it's really hard to raise dragon slayers because they have so much power and
Yeah.
so much influence, and they don't always know. Like, sometimes it just overwhelms them because they're growing up. And she's brilliant. I mean, top of the class, knows her stuff, but just a regular kid, gets in trouble
Yeah.
sometimes, has that little voice. And she went to my church, and I just happened to go into the classroom, and her mom was talking to me and just, asked me to pray with her and, about her. And I told her, I said, "Oh, wait, what grade is she going to?" She's going to fifth grade. So her mom moved her to the school that I was teaching, and I got
Wow.
to teach her, I also got to pastor her, I also
Wow.
got to mentor her. Really, just my whole family is so close with them, and to watch her just win, like that was
Yeah.
so important to me. And I've had educators who were not great,
Yeah.
um, and I really believe that the year I got to spend with her in class every day, that it was really life changing. And she's amazing.
Oh.
Her mom's amazing. We're
Mm.
very good friends. Her name is one of the names in the book. If you look in the dedication, I
Oh.
listed all 27 of my fifth graders that year. But Avery she's a star.
Oh.
She's a winner, and I'm just excited to see what God is going to do in her life. So yeah,
Oh.
that's one of the girls I think of.
I love it. Okay, last quick question. So I don't know if people really do book tours like they used to, but
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you had a dream book tour stop, just one stop, where are we going and what are we eating?
Oh, hold on. Okay, wait. Just one stop.
Yeah.
I I would have to say Cincinnati, Ohio, because my family is there and my aunt is there, my mom is there, and my aunt is like an amazing cook, and she'll make me collard greens.
So that's what we'd be eating. I love Cincinnati too. I have relatives there as well. I love the hills and the streets, and it has such
Yes,
a student vibe and outdoor
yeah.
patios, even when
I'm
it's
going there
cold. And
tomorrow. I'm headed there tomorrow because my mom's birthday is this week. So
oh my gosh. Well, stay safe for sure. All right. Okay. As we wrap up, Sunny, this was a total blast. I'm really glad we got to flip
thank
the
you.
script. It was really fun interviewing you. This was This is like a highlight of my week right now. This is so fun.
So much fun.
But could you tell people where they can grab a copy of I Am a Genius? And also,
Yeah.
how do they connect with you if they're not connected yet? Because I know I'm going to share this podcast. So how do they connect with you, follow along, and, get this book out as well?
Yeah, so the book is available on Amazon. It's also available through Ingram Spark. So I'll put the links in the bio about the description about the episode. You can follow me at Genius Incubator on Instagram. That's what I tell everybody. That's what I do. I'm a Genius Incubator, and so that's kind of like everywhere. My Genius Incubator. So you can find me there. I interact with people, so talk to me, please. And
That's so
definitely hope,
awesome.
please, when you get the book, please leave a review on
Yeah.
Goodreads and Amazon.
Yeah.
It's really helpful. So yeah, so though that's where you can definitely get the book.
Yes, reviews make a difference. I'm just going to
That's
say this really quick for you. Reviews make a
yes,
really big difference, especially for self-published authors, you all. Like, it is worth
yeah,
your time. Like, I just think sometimes how we use our time and how we get
yeah,
scrolling or we're on Netflix or this is something you can do to literally make a difference in an author's life.
yeah,
Especially those of us who are kind of indie authors publishing our own stuff.
yeah,
Like when you leave reviews, it really helps other people find that book. And so please do grab the book and leave a review. And to everybody who's listening, if there's a student in the world, like in your world, who needs to be
yes,
reminded that they are smart and bold and creative and full of potential, this literally is the book. And again,
it isn't.
it's not just a book, it's a mantra. It's a repeatable mantra that seeps into your soul and
Mm,
changes lives like it really does. So the message is clear. You don't have to grow up to be amazing. You already are.
yes,
And
that's
I'm
it.
going to just say I'm getting the book for me, and I'm way older than a kid. So I don't even think it's age bound. So I love it. As Sunny mentioned, all the links are in the show notes. And Sunny, how do you end your podcast? Because I know on my podcast, we always end with be a light. And I'm talking to like a woman who is a light, right? Like we all have so much influence in the world.
We should end it just like that.
Yeah. Okay. You want to say it together?
Okay, wait.
Okay, everybody. Be a light. Oh, you didn't do it, Sunny.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Be a
Be a light.
We did not match.